Hey everybody, this is 7X Fan Ben with a little Caribbean game update. So this is that giant campaign game Xerix and I are playing on the Vassal module. We are allowing some guest participation too, so if you want to join the game, just let us know in the thread perhaps, or hit one of us up, or both, or whatever. So I'm just going to go in faction order. We played basically 2 turns over the course of Saturday, Sunday, June 23rd, 24, 2018, and I'm going to go in faction order to the English and the Spanish are Xerxes' 2 factions, and the English, you can see they've got about 5 ships with their deck plate area there, and their home island, St. Martin, and I'm just going to list off some of what they've got right now. They've got level 2 shipyard, level 1 tavern, level 1 city, and in that city, they've hired Governor Lynch to head the sea party. So that means their army units have a base cost of 5 instead of 3, and then captains and helmsmen only cost 1 gold each. So they've got a sea party set up, and right now they don't have a lot of ships, but they do have valuable luxuries just to the north, and they've been bringing those in recently for some nice income. And then the Spanish are completely in an opposite direction. They're way down in the south here. So their home island of St. Vincent has become quite crowded. The Spanish are off to probably the second hottest start after the Dutch, and they have a level 4 shipyard, which means they can build up to 4 ships at one time, and those ships can have up to 4 masts. So the levels of the shipyard correspond directly to how many ships can be built and the number of masts the ships built there can have. And they have a level 2 tavern, which means they can hire named crew and generic crew and equipment. Generics and equipment come with the level 1 tavern. They have a level 1 city, and they are about to hire a politician to head their own sea party as well once they get a little bit more gold. So the Spanish are doing extremely well. They've got a bunch of ships. They've got 4 ships being built that looks like they're beginning construction on. And then they've got ships going to St. Lucia up north. And then they also have Granada explored, where they've got some medicine coming in. So the Spanish definitely off to a good start as well. So that's what they've been up to. The Dutch, like I said, they've pretty much had the hottest start so far, at least. And the Dutch have a level 4 shipyard, level 2 tavern, just like the Spanish, and they do have a level 2 city. So they have the highest level city, and tied with the Spanish for the highest level shipyard and tavern for their upgrades. They were the first to get into the politics, the political situation. So they hired Olivier van Noort, who to head the political, to head the exploratory party, which means that helmsmen cost 1 gold, and then they can hire 3 explorers for just 1 gold. The explorers still cost, they still have a point cost of 1 in terms of the ship and in terms of other things, but they only cost 1 gold when they hire them, basically. And the army unit cost goes up to 4, similar to the sea party, because they're not concerned with land stuff at all. So anyway, and then the Dutch also have the biggest population right now, which is at 51, partly because they upgraded their city a couple times early on. And the Dutch have done quite well for themselves. They've explored some islands off to the west. Saba has been their main money maker so far, and right now medicine is valuable. All the resources are worth their face value on a resource value roll of 1. So medicine is worth 5, so they've been raking in that pretty well. Got a bunch of ships going there. They've also just started construction of some new ships, and you can see them there. Just this 2 turns ago, some historical ships were introduced. The Dutch, of course, are a custom faction. So Hollandia, Gervoer, and this ship here, Nui Grens. I'm not going to get the pronunciations right, but oh well. And so basically they've got 4 ships under construction, just like the Spanish actually. And they're bringing in the gold pretty well. And one thing they've done, interestingly enough, especially, and it really embodies the exploratory part, they've sent ships in all 8 directions of the compass rose. So like north, northeast, east, southeast, south, so on, and in all 8 directions. And here you can see the Vise, who you might know from the battle report, actually discovered the English in the first factional contact of the game. There were some difficulties with the languages, so they weren't able to really talk very much, but we'll see how that works out. So they've got that ship heading north, and then this is interesting because the Braic has actually discovered St. Barthélemy, which the English have explored. So it's one of the English islands, but the Braic had an explorer aboard. So this past turn, the Dutch explored that island. So I think that's the first, or maybe not, but it's one of the first wild islands. Yeah, it looks like Montserrat is another one. It's one of the first and only wild islands so far to have been explored by multiple factions. So she was heading, the Braic was heading due northeast, but then she pulled over to check out this island. So we'll see if she goes home or if she continues heading northeast. She'll probably let Van Noort, the Dutch leader, know about the development and then head back out and go northeast after that. And then you can see some of the ships here, some of the Dutch ships going in different directions. And then some of them have advanced pretty far. So some of them are like out of sight. You can't really, you gotta scroll quite a ways to even find them. So overall, the Dutch, it looks like the Dutch have an island upgrade on Saba too, which I think was the first of the game there. So the Dutch off to the hottest start and have been doing quite well so far. And then the French are my other faction along with the Dutch. They have done the first election of the game, and you may have seen that from the live stream. So basically, the French, unlike the other factions so far, the French didn't want to just put somebody in power. They actually wanted to have an election. So they bought their city, which gives them a city hall, which gives them the ability to have elections. So they've hired 2 politicians, and these were real politicians from the Age of Sail general time period, and you can check them out on Wikipedia. And they had an election which Louis de Rival won. So now that put him and his political party, which is the Resource Party, into power. So they now rule the French home island of Guadeloupe. The Resource Party, you basically roll a d6, and then that, whatever the result is, that resource doubles in value for that faction. And it came out to be luxuries, crazy enough. And that's the same resource that the French have produced at their home island. So their home island is actually pumping out the resource that doubles in value. And to make it even more crazy, luxuries, the resource they rolled for, that's actually the most valuable resource right now because they're all worth their face value. So luxuries are resource number 6, worth 6 gold, and then due to the Resource Party now coming into power, it's doubled. So they basically have an automatic 12 gold per turn. Although the resources are going to change in about 3 turns, so it's probably not going to last. But interesting little, some pretty crazy luck if you really think about it. So. And recently, the French have upgraded their shipyard to a level 3. You can see 3 ships being built there. One of them is going to sail out next turn. They've explored Montserrat. Marie Galante is basically just part of Guadeloupe in a way. It would be too overpowered if Marie Galante produced resources. And then Dominica has medicine right now, so similar to the Dutch, they've been getting a lot of gold from medicine right now because it's been valuable. And Martinique, fittingly enough, French colony back in the original Age of Sail. That was their first island they explored. So anyway, the French are doing pretty good, especially as of late. So they've got the Resource Party going, luxuries doubling in value, and elections in general can be held every 5 turns. So the next time they could have an election is turn 67 because they just had their first election on turn 62. So we've completed 63 turns, and we're on turn 64 now. So it looks like the beginning of turn 67 will be when the resources change again. So that's pretty much the most recent developments in the Caribbean game. We had a good session. It was good to get back into things. We hadn't played in about 3 months since March, the month that the game started. So it was good to get back into the swing of things a little bit. We had to remember a lot of things, look up a lot of crew options and crew setups, and see which speeds ships were operating at and whatnot. But anyway, and there's a ton to remember with the rule set and whatnot. But it's definitely been a really, really interesting and super unique experience so far. Because even though Xerix and I are the most experienced campaign players active right now, we've never done anything like this and on this scale and with this kind of rule set. we've never done something this involved. So it's a pretty cool experience so far. So thanks for watching. I'm gonna try to do battle reports like this instead of pictures, due to the picture sites failing so often, and because I know the live sessions of the recordings it's tough to find information sometimes, and it's tough to follow on the game if there's like a 2 hour live session and you only have 15 minutes. This is a much more easily digestible format to go with, and it also gets you the information you need to know without seeing every move action actually happen in real time. So hopefully I'll do more of this going forward, and let me know if you'd like to see more reports like this or any other type, really. So thanks for watching. Leave a like if you want to, and comment in the Caribbean Game thread. So thanks for watching.